If you are looking for a math tool to help your child with math, or you're wondering how to use a math rack, you are in the right place. Hi, I'm Tessa, a first and second grade teacher staying at home now with my two boys. If you missed my first video on what is a math rack and how to make one, I will link that above. You can watch it now, or you can click in the description box below and there'll be a link in there to watch that. For this video, I'm going to assume that you have either seen that one or you know what it is, and we'll just jump right into how to introduce this to your child to set a foundation and some exercises you can do with your child to use this. So first I want to talk about some terms or phrases you might say with your child using this, just so they have an idea. So we always teach the kids white to the right, so I'll need to flip it this way. So if you're reading, just as you would read left to right, we would read the part over here. So to have it kind of in the starting position or reset, you will have all the beads pushed to the right. So we would say white to the right. The other term we use a lot is a push. And so by a push, it is simply pushing the beads, but you're talking about, whatever amount you push at one time. So they might push one as they're counting. They'll do this as they're getting started, but eventually they'll subitize and they'll be able to see, and they'll do a push and move multiple beads at one time. The other thing I want to touch on is it may seem so simple and easy for your kid, but I just want to stress the importance of really helping your kids get a firm foundation on just knowing 0 through 5. So you actually can purchase or even make a math rack with just even 5. Also a 10 string with 10 beads on it. So it's just, I think, really important for kids to be very fluent, so know very well numbers 0 through 5 and then 0 through 10 before they move on. So in this video, I'm going to focus on just the 0 through 5 and 0 through 10, so they can get really familiar with that, because then as they move into bigger numbers, it's just going to be that much easier for them. Once you've gone over those basics with your child, you can do some just simple games to get them familiar with the math rack. I would first off just let them explore with it. So just give it to them and kind of let them play around with it. And then you can go into just a simple game called Show Me, where you'll ask them to show you a number. So you might say, show me 2. And they'll find 2. Oftentimes when they're starting, they'll count out single beads that way. And that's okay. Let them get used to the math rack. And as they become more familiar with what that 2 looks like, then you can talk about show me in the least amount of pushes. So see if they can really only do 1 push is the goal. But as they're working for it, let's say you say, show me 4. So they might be able to see maybe a grouping of 2, and they know 2 and 2 makes 4. Okay, so there's 2 pushes they just did. So eventually you'll want them to be able to see the 4, and if they know this whole thing is 5 and 1 less, so leave 1 there to make 4. Okay, and it's the same thing once they've kind of mastered this group of 5, then you can move up to the 0 to 10. Do this every once in a while, kind of get them familiar with it, and the more and more they practice, they'll be able to visually see that, and they'll get fast with their numbers. So they can see maybe 5 and 3 more is 8, and they might be able to push that all in one push. Okay, or they might know that this is all 10, and if I leave 2 beads there, then that makes 8. And that'll be something we do a little bit more further on. But basically, they're just getting familiar with the math rack and just what those numbers look like on it. Another simple game you can do is how many. This is where you will have the math rack as the parent or teacher, and you will show them a number and ask how many. So you will do a push of beads, and so they will be reading left to right. So they'll be reading the grouping over here, and they will tell you how many. You really don't have to spend much time, but this is just a great quick activity you can do to help them become faster identifying those numbers. And then again, as you move up to say the 0 to 10, then it's the same idea. You'll show them a number and you'll ask how many. The goal is they are able to quickly identify that number, so they can see a group of 5 because they worked on that 5, so they really know that's 5, and then 2 more. Okay. Another game you might play is how many more. So we'd be looking at pushing over a number of beads. Let's just start with 1, and then you will ask them how many more to make 5. And so they will see that they have 1, and then they'll see how many more over here until they make a total of 5. Okay, so we're looking at just combinations to make 5, and then you'll do the same with 10. So combinations to make 5 and 10 will really help their mental math when they start seeing these numbers as they relate to 5s and 10s. And a neat thing to do is to have them record all the ways to make 10. So, and you can do this with 5 too. There's obviously just more combinations with 10. So let's say if we just start with 1, so we ask them how many more to make 10. So they will see or count if that's where they're at, or they might group the rest of the reds 4 and then 5 more is 9. Okay, and then you might push over 2 and say how many more to make 10. And then they'll see that 2 and 8 more makes 10. And you might do this in order the first time just so they can start seeing this pattern, and then you'll mix it up obviously and try to make it trickier on them, and they'll get faster and faster. They might have to individually count the beads at first, and that's okay. But this skill is really helpful when they can see how the numbers relate to 5s and 10s. So these are friendly numbers, we sometimes call them, but it'll help with their mental math and subitizing. So when they get to those larger numbers, they've kind of got this skill that's going to help them with those larger numbers. And a final exercise I want to mention in this video is working on story problems. Now, I love story problems or word problems, really for anything, just because of the math reasoning skill that is involved. And I think it is so important for kids to be able to verbalize their thinking and their reasoning. So let's say we had a problem. There are 2 cats in the backyard. And then I saw 2 birds in a tree. How many animals are in the backyard? So they see 2 cats and 2 birds, say 4. So you'll ask them, how did you know that? Or show me how you knew that. And then they'll try to explain with using the beads. So they might say, well, I pushed over 2 for the 2 cats and then 2 more for the 2 birds. And then I counted and there were 4 altogether. Okay, so just trying to help, this tool helps them try to explain their reasoning. Okay, show me the number 2. Ooh, nice job. I like how you did that in one push. Okay, reset it back. Clear them all. There you go, to the side. Okay, show me the number 4. Ooh, good job. Okay, reset. Show me 3. Oh, you're so good at this. Okay, you got weight to the right. Good, you're all set. Okay, show me the number 5. How'd you know that was 5? Okay, reset it. I'll tell you a different number. Okay, show me the number 6. I hope this has given you some helpful ideas of how to use a math rack with your child. Stay tuned for the next video where we'll talk about more ways to use the math rack with your older child. So once they've mastered the 0 through 5 and 0 through 10 math racks. Please consider subscribing to my channel for more math, reading, and writing activities for your kids. Thanks for watching and have a great day.